News Alert.
And that breaking news involves the arrest of a Houston area man known for making YouTube videos criticizing police. Late this afternoon, Earl was taken into custody by McAllen police after being charged with sexual assault of a child. These allegations date back to 2002. New evidence was obtained by Deer Park police that led to the new charge. Over the years, Worden has appeared in dozens of YouTube videos criticizing law enforcement and challenging the legal limits of where people are allowed to record videos and take photos. Worden is already a convicted sex offender. It is not clear why he was in McAllen. He will eventually be brought back to Harris County to face a judge on this new charge.
You do the same thing? Technically, age discrepancy-wise? Lied about your age to her?
I did. And she was almost 18, and I didn't go in there and flirt with her all the time. I met her at the Dairy Queen. Everybody worked there, and I used to talk to everybody. And one day I came by, she was outside crying. And that's how I got her number.
Why'd you lie about your age?
I don't remember.
But a 33-year-old, you think it's wrong?
I believe 15 at the time, and that's my daughter.
Okay, so
That's the difference.
You were 17, almost 18, and you would have been fine with it?
I would have been fine with it, but what can you do? You know, that my kids do a lot of things in life that I don't agree with. Okay, but I can't stop them if they're of age.
Just saying, yeah, all these people are coming out like you're saying, they're all having the same story. You can either look at it one or two different ways. Yeah,
They don't all have the same story.
Well, didn't you just tell me that?
No.
The consistent,
they're consistent. There's
all
a lot of
consistent
consistencies.
statements? All the consistent statements?
They're not consistent statements.
Then let's go back to what you were telling me about then. Use
Which
your word,
part?
use your verbiage then that you just told me.
You're saying it's consistent statements. We gotta make the distinction here. My kids with my ex-wife are saying is not the same as what said, and it has nothing to do or is even similar to my relationship with.
Okay.
These are completely different things. The allegations are completely different.
So you go in there and fondle her breast, says you have to give me your virginity, and drills holes in the wall, right? So I go and corroborates that. She gets emotional, right? She says it's weird and it's stuck with me.
Okay.
Fondling of the breast, going into the room, touching her. She has to lock her door. It's a disclosure. The one time she goes over to your trailer, it's already happened. She got touched. She got touched.
At the trailer.
Yeah.
That's what she said. Yeah.
Yeah.
But I was never alone with her.
She was there for a weekend, right?
No, she was not. She was there for one night.
One night?
One night.
Okay, well.
One night, and
she remembers it. Listen, she remembers it. Okay? It's stuck with her. All right? She has flashbacks. She joins the Army. She can't even sit in the shark training. She tells me, I got to get out. I can't listen to it. I sought therapy for it. And we're getting therapy records, too. So, we'll get her therapy records and see what she told the psychologist.
Okay.
All right? And I have to contact these people because I'm tasked with that. Right? It's not like they're like, you know what? I really hate David, Dad. Let's go make up some allegations and report this to the police. Then turn around and contact this Detective Reed and say, hey, this is what's happening. Not 30 seconds into the interview. Oh, I wouldn't put anything past him. He did it to my daughters too. I contact. Tells me you want to fondle her breast. Starts when she's 14 years old. You drill holes in the wall. You want to take her virginity at 17 years old. Right? Okay, so I'm like, okay, let's, you know what I mean? To be fair, let's talk to the other daughters. So I go find I got a sits down, gets emotional, can barely look. And she's like, yep. I used to watch him drill holes in the wall so he could see. It's weird and it stuck with me. And then you want to give me some story about how what? Oh, was 15, 16-year-old. She was dating a 33-year-old. That's messed up. And you did the same thing. And then you want to tell me you took a polygraph. There's no polygraph in here. You want to come out and tell us the truth? Huh? So I can go back to your daughters that you abused? Let them know, you know what, he's sorry. He apologized. They're your daughters, bro. One's had to see therapy, they all hate you. How do you want to work it?
You have no idea what I did with when they found her down here with Daniel Wade in a hotel room being molested.
Who's Daniel Wade?
How come you don't know that?
Well, who is
You know
he?
all this shit, but you don't know that.
No one's told me about a Daniel Wade.
He's the guy that was convicted for molesting her.
No one's told me about a Daniel Wade.
Imagine that.
So tell me about Daniel Wade.
Imagine that.
Tell me about it.
So you don't know everything, do you?
No.
No.
But now you can give me something to follow up on.
I'll tell you what you do know about that much of a story that's that deep.
Well, tell me about Daniel Wade so I can get that high up.
All right, fill us in. I mean,
Daniel Wade moved in with after I moved out, ostensibly as a babysitter. He developed a. Now, keep in mind that this occurred after I got out of jail this last time.
Okay.
So it was 04, somewhere in there.
Okay.
I forget what happened. I had some other guy living there with her. Daniel Wade's just there as the babysitter.
Do you remember his name or anything like that?
Daniel Wade?
No.
No, not
the
the other guy.
Was married to him. You can ask her.
Okay.
Okay. And I had a relationship at that point, a good relationship. We did things together with her other siblings along.
Mm-hmm.
Never had any issues. But as Daniel Wade came in, she began to get more and more distant. And I had conversations with her about this. And she just said, oh, well, she's a kid, you know, let her do whatever she's going to do. And it got to the point where I confronted Daniel Wade and told him that I thought he was a child molester and that he was doing something with. He denied it. I asked, she denied it. At that point, I was cut off completely. No more contact.
Okay.
All right. Pasadena PD picked up, they had some kind of fire at the house, and I'm getting no information at all from her mother. I was cut off from everything. Pasadena PD, they had a fire, and they were all staying at a hotel. Pasadena PD rolled through the hotel, running plate numbers, came up with somebody had a warrant. They went and knocked on the door. They found Daniel together.
How old was Daniel?
Late 20s,
no, when this happened.
13, 12.
2004, you said?
Yeah, 04, 05, he's convicted. He's on the sex offender list. Funny, nobody mentioned that to you.
No.
Wow.
So and this is part of why we're talking, because
No, what you're talking to me to is to try to get me to trip up because you're trying to build a case. I know what you're doing. I got it. Okay? The fact that you're going back so far is suspicious, but whatever. You're going to do what you're going to do. And okay.
Well, I mean, like, as of what we see now, if no one, nobody ever saw justice or they were abused, no matter how far we go back, don't you think people kind of deserve justice?
I mean, with these things, they change the statute of limitations and everything for that reason.
I've done nothing wrong.
Okay. But it's just...
I've offered to take a polygraph. I don't know what else you want from me.
Okay, so you'll take a polygraph?
I will take a polygraph.
So Daniel Way, 2004. Pasadena Police. He was a babysitter.
Yeah, after they dug into it, they found that he'd been a babysitter for some other people as well and had similar problems. So
Okay.
that's really funny that nobody's mentioned that to you.
No. It is funny.
It is funny.
Any other information that you want to give us?
So what happened with the situation? You said you went and talked to HPD, and then they kind of didn't really do anything.
They had a unit come out
Mhm.
and
Break it off with this guy, or was she seeing this guy?
no, she went and stayed with her mother, who only lived a few blocks away, and my older brother. And they ended up getting together at some point.
Mhm.
She was sneaking over there to see him. If I think about his name, I may come up with it, but at this point, it eludes me.
What's your relationship with your brother?
He's dead.
He passed away.
He passed away.
I'm trying to think of someone we could talk to who's around you and the girls during that time period that could kind of contradict what we're getting, if anything.
What about? I heard you have a good relationship.
Have a decent
You always
relationship.
she sees you on like Father's Days and stuff like that.
Not Father's Day. She has a kid of her own. They spend Father's Day, but I do see her and talk to her. Yes.
Okay. Well, she doesn't want to talk to me for this, but I want to talk to her because I want to get her opinion and her take on everything too. You know what I mean? Do you think you want to let her know that we've talked to us, that you've talked to us, and have her call us?
What, you want me to tell her to talk to you?
But ask her.
Ask her, don't tell her, of course.
Don't tell her. Come on.
I mean, it's of her own free will, but I mean, if she is willing to talk to us, we would appreciate it. We definitely.
I will ask her. I will tell her it's okay if that's what she wants to do, but beyond that, she's a grown adult. She does what she does.
Yeah. All right. Well, we'll work on getting that polygraph lined up for you. Okay.
Okay.
How many sons you have? Just one, 2, 3,
4.
4? All right. How'd you meet?
Man, that's a long time ago. I think her sister introduced us, if I'm not mistaken.
Her sister?
Yeah.
Where'd y'all meet at?
Through her sister.
Through her sister?
Met at a party.
Oh, at a party. Okay.
Again, that's a
A
long
long time ago. You know where I was in '96? 4th grade.
My dad always told me, you don't look that young. Neither of you really look that young.
Oh, come on now.
Yeah, no,
David.
I'm just saying. You know.
I was a senior in high school.
But I can tell you that my dad used to tell me that when the cops start, you know you're young, you know you're old when the cops start looking like kids, and more, I am seeing these damn little. They look like freaking high school kids out there. It's crazy.
Yeah.
Crazy.
You want to give us any information to follow up on your behalf?
Anybody we should talk to that you think would shine some light on this? What's going on? Anything?
You know, at the time this occurred, we tried to isolate the kids as much as possible, simply because they just didn't need to be caught up in grown adults bickering and fighting. And so maybe now in retrospect, that was a mistake. I don't believe the police ever interviewed the kids. They were content to, like I said, to interview me and take do the polygraph. And again, the detective, I'm hoping he wrote it in that file, said that.
Yeah, we'll follow up and look into it.
I'm just saying,
Because if you did one, there should be a report of it somewhere, so we may have to have
he
it passed
specifically
into the
said
archives.
he could tell he had been coached. And this all went through CPS because we had CPS at our place, beating on our door, going through, talking to the kids. And, you know.
And that's another, we'll have CPS dig into the archives and pull their stuff up too, so we see what they have and what they found and what they wrote up. Because it was investigated by them. Do you remember what their ruling was on it at all?
They went with Pasadena PD. They're the ones that brought Pasadena PD in.
Okay.
So it was
Do you think they ruled
just
it
unfounded.
unfounded,
Yeah. Nothing ever came of it. Like I said, after the polygraph, the detective was happy and settled. That was the end of it.
Yeah, and I'm sure, 20 years ago things were a little different too. And nowadays, just a polygraph alone usually isn't enough anymore. They want us to make sure we do all our due diligence to find out, because polygraphs aren't admissible in court. You can't use them. So they want to make sure, it's a good thing. We do them. They help a lot.
Well, you know what I know. You can't beat the machine.
Oh, you can beat the machine.
I've never seen anybody. I've never seen anybody that can beat the machine. But okay.
Yeah, there's because it monitors your body sign, the signals.
I know.
So there are people who are really good at meditation, stuff like that. They can control their heartbeat. They can control their breathing. I mean, there's some of the more newer ones, which a lot of, I don't know if we can find one that has it or not, but I know like DPS, when they do their new recruit training and stuff, they have one that's got a little pad you sit on. You can tell if you're puckering or not. That's another part of the things that you can't control. But there's a science to beating them. There is a possibility. That's one of the reasons why it's not allowed in court. Why they don't use it, because it can. They have proven it can be beaten.
Well, like I said, I have no objection to taking one. I personally, I don't believe I can beat one, but if you say so, I haven't done anything wrong.
Okay.
So if I took it before, I'll take it again.
We'll reach out because we don't have one on staff. We have to either bring one in or we use one from one of the surrounding agencies that have one on staff.
Well, they sent me to a private one. The one that they had me take was some guy on Spencer Highway.
Mm-hmm.
He didn't do it at the police department. He did it at his office on Spencer.
Okay.
So.
Yeah, I know Pasadena now, they have their own guys that
Most police departments, I think, do. But I think then.
I know we don't because it's expensive.
I think back then he would sometimes come to the PD and do it, and sometimes go to his office and do it. I don't know.
Okay.
Because they weren't sure. I remember when they initially talked about it, they weren't sure about where it would be at, whether it would be there or his office, and ended up being.
I looked into it once out of curiosity. It was like a 9-month training course, and then you have to do so many per year to maintain your license, and so it's very expensive. Not only just the equipment, but the training and everything. So there's a lot to it. So that's why I think I know Pasadena's got two or three. I think LaPorte has one, and we don't have one. We had one years ago, and they never. After he was done, they decided we're not.
Well, you should call LaPorte and ask them if their guy could do one. I'll run over there right now.
We'll have to schedule it with them and find out. But we'll get it set up.
I trust LaPorte PD. I don't trust this PD.
Okay.
But I trust LaPorte PD.
Okay, we'll try to get LaPorte to do it for you then.
That's fine. I got no objection to it. What else can I do for you?
No, sir. Thanks for coming in and talking.
Yeah, we appreciate it.
All right. If you decide you want to arrest me for something, give me a call. I'll come in and surrender.
Okay.
You don't have to come beating on the door. People get hurt that way.
Yes.
Okay. I told you, I'm not trying to hurt anybody.
Mm-hmm.
I also don't want to get hurt.
Yeah.
So you let me know. I'll come on and surrender.
Okay. Sounds good.
All right.
Okay.
I will talk to Sarah. I make no promises about what she'll do.
Mm-hmm.
So all we can do is just ask.
Yeah, both my mom is where Brandy went to live. I lost my mom in 2003, and my brother that was living there, lost him in 2004. So they're both gone. So it is what it is.
Yeah, sure. Okay, David, well, thanks for coming in. Okay. And we'll, as soon as I get that polygraph scheduled, we'll contact him and we'll see what works out for you.
I'm pretty available except in January. I've got to go out of state on a court case over in Pineville where the National Guard arrested me.
Where, what week? Do you know? Because we're almost to January.
Yeah, it'll be the middle of the month. Just the 15th through the 20th. Don't schedule anything then.
Yeah.
Any other time, I'll make myself available. If you just give me a date, I'll make it available.
We'll try to get it done sooner than later. You know, like you said, it's
I know,
coming into the
I know.
holiday season. People burn off their vacation and everything else by the end of the year. So we got to find out what his schedule is as well.
Okay.
All right.
Give me a list of questions. When you're ready to do the polygraph, give me a list of questions. I'll submit them to my attorney, get his approval on them, and then give them back, and we'll do it.
Sounds perfect.
All right, guys.
Thanks, David.